Hello and welcome back to the Human Manual. I am your host Ankit. How are all of you? And today we are back in discussion with the text 8 of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Till now we had discussed what has been the condition of Arjuna, how he has lost all his composure, how he has become completely confused with whatever arguments he has put before Krishna. He has completely become perplexed and bewildered because of his own understanding because of his own knowledge and understandings which he had till now. He has become entangled in his own arguments which he put before Krishna. Instead of getting out of this entanglement, he has become more entangled. And this shows that whatever knowledge he has, whatever religious knowledge or whatever tactics or whatever facts or whatever moral values he has, those values is not helping him to recover from this situation. And therefore he has become completely helpless in this situation. And therefore there is only one person whom he can take shelter of, and there is only one person who can provide or who can make him out of this entanglement. And you know who he is. Yes, he is Krishna himself. Without Krishna, we cannot get out of this entanglement, whatever situation may be. So let us start with the beautiful prayer. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksusurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Text 8, Chapter 2. Nahi prapasyami mama panudyat yachokham muchhosanam indriyanam avapya bhuma asapatnam riddham rajyam suranam apicha adhipanyam. The English translation of this Sanskrit verse is, I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. So Arjuna is telling to Krishna that I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. So Arjuna, because of his detached nature and because of his mode of goodness, and there is no doubt about he being a pure devotee of the Lord, he is saying that by no means he can drive away this grief which is also drying up his senses, and he will not be able to dispel this grief, this situation, this situation which is making his senses dry. He will not be able to dispel this even if he wins this war, he becomes prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth, and even if it equals the sovereignty of the conditions of demigods in the heavens. So he means in short is that by no means he is going to get happiness by the outcome of this war. So you can see by this verse that how helpless the condition of Arjuna has become, and therefore he is very, very fit to receive the knowledge by Krishna. Now we will read the purport and try to understand what actually means or what is the depth inside this verse. Purport. Although Arjuna was putting forward so many arguments based on knowledge of the principles of religion and moral codes, it appears that he was unable to solve his real problem without the help of the spiritual master Lord Sri Krishna. He could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problems which were drying up his whole existence, and it was impossible for him to solve such perplexities without the help of a spiritual master like Lord Krishna. So whatever knowledge he had, or the so-called knowledge which he had, was useless in driving away his real world problems. which were drying up his whole existence, and it was become impossible for him to solve such perplexities without the help of a spiritual master, which was in this present situation Lord Sri Krishna himself. Academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, etc. are all useless in solving the problems of life. Help can be given only by a spiritual master like Krishna, or someone who is Krishna conscious, someone who is completely Krishna conscious. Only those persons can provide the help in such situations. Only those persons can make you come out of this entanglement. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious is the bona fide spiritual master, for he only can solve the problems of life. Lord Chaitanya said that one who is a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his social position, is the real spiritual master. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Lord Chaitanya had once said that one who is a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his social position, whatever social position he may be in, that doesn't matter. If he is completely Krishna conscious, he is fit to become a spiritual master. Kiba vipra kiba nyasi sudra kene noy. Yei Krishna tattva veta sei guru hoy. It is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 8.128. It does not matter whether a person is a Vipra. Vipra means learned scholar in Vedic wisdom. So it doesn't matter whether a person is a Vipra, someone who is having great Vedic knowledge, or is born in a lower family, or is in the renounced order of life. If he is a master in the science of Krishna, he is the perfect and bona fide spiritual master. So whether he is a Vipra, he is a learned Vedic scholar, or whether he may be born in a lower family, or he may even be renounced in the renounced order of life, it doesn't matter. What matters is if he is completely Krishna conscious, if he is a master of the science of Krishna, then he is fit to become the bona fide and the perfect spiritual master. It is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Lord Chaitanya himself. So without being a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, no one is a bona fide spiritual master. It is also said in the Vedic literature, in the Padma Puran, that Sat Karma Nipuno Vipro Mantra Tantra Visarada Avaisnava Gurur Nasyad Vaisnava Swapacho Guru. So what does this mean? It is mentioned in the Padma Puran that a scholarly Brahman, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master. Point to be noted: a scholarly Brahman, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master, but without being a Vaishnava or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. So this is similar to the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, where Lord Chaitanya said, whether he be a Vipra, he be a learned scholar, or he be born in a lower family, or he may even be a sannyasi, or someone who has is in the renounced order of life, cannot be a spiritual master or bona fide spiritual master unless he has complete knowledge of the science of Krishna consciousness, or he is completely Krishna consciousness. Similarly, it is mentioned in the Padma Puran that a scholarly Brahman, expert in all the subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava. So he cannot become a spiritual master unless he is a Vaishnava or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. But a person born in a family of a lower caste can become a spiritual master if he is a Vaishnava or Krishna conscious. So what is important, my dear friends? The important is that one should be a Vaishnava before being anything if he has to become a bona fide spiritual master. Only a person who is completely Krishna conscious knows the knowledge of science of Krishna consciousness, they only can become a bona fide spiritual master or the perfect spiritual master. Whatever condition may be in, or wherever he was born, or whoever he is, unless he is completely Krishna conscious, he cannot become a spiritual master. So we saw the proof of this both in the Padma Puran and also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now we will further continue with the purport. The problems of material existence, birth, old age, disease and death, cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. So the problems of material existence, what are the problems of material existence? Birth, old age, disease and death. This is the common problem of everyone. Birth, old age, disease and death. Everyone has to go through this, and this is really the most severe problem of material existence, that one has to take birth, one has to reach the old age, then there will be a disease, and therefore death will definitely come to him. You cannot get out of this. So one has to go through this. So this is the problems of material existence. And this cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. We have seen so many leaders, so many powerful leaders and celebrities and whatnot. Everyone had so much of wealth and they were economically so much powerful. They had all the powers they had. But ultimately what happened? Everyone died, yeah, right? Everyone got the disease. Everyone, of course, took birth. Then everyone went through the old age. Everyone died. Everyone died through disease. No one could control the world. So these problems cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. In many parts of the world, there are states which are replete with all the problems of material existence. In many parts of the world, there are states which are replete with all facilities of life, which are full of wealth and economically developed. Yet the problems of material existence are still present. They are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitute the science of Krishna through the bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness. So it is said in this purport that in many parts of the world, there are states which are replete with all facilities of life. They are full of wealth, they are completely economically developed. The country where I am also now living, it is Germany, which is also one of the most developed nations of the world. It is also very economically developed. Almost every person here in Germany is wealthy. But this doesn't mean that I haven't seen any people that they are very, very happy or they are not frustrated. I've seen many a times that how frustrated they can be. It is not that they are not having any money or they are not economically developed. They don't have any food or shelter or whatever may be. They are completely materially well established. They have all the material opulence one can have in this world, but still they are devoid of real happiness. I have seen many of them feeling frustrated, taking drugs and alcohol and whatnot. Why is it so? If they are so much economically developed, why are they unhappy? Because they are seeking the pleasure from somewhere where the source is only temporary. If you seek the pleasure from the source which is permanent, you can always remain happy. And who is the eternal source of pleasure, eternal source of all pleasures? He is Krishna himself. So when you take shelter of Krishna, you will remain always happy. So it is being said that these peoples are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitute the science of Krishna. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is none different from Krishna, and it constitutes the science of Krishna. And one can get this real happiness through the bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness. So only a bona fide representative of Krishna or the man in Krishna consciousness can help you in getting the real happiness from Krishna. If economic development and material comforts could drive away one's lamentation for family, social, national or international inebrities, then Arjuna would not have said that even an unrivaled kingdom on earth or supremacy like that of the demigods in the heavenly planets would be unable to drive away his lamentations. So it is being said in this purport that if economic development and material comforts could drive away one's lamentations for family, social, national or international inebrities, then Arjuna would not have said that even an unrivaled kingdom on earth or supremacy like that of the demigods in the heavenly planets would be unable to drive away his lamentations. So Arjuna would not have said that in this case. He sought therefore refuge in Krishna consciousness, and that is the right path for peace and harmony. So he chose the real source of happiness, that is Krishna consciousness, and that is the right path for peace and harmony. Economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by the cataclysms of material nature. By the nature of material world, the material nature is so temporary that whatever opulences you have, whatever possessions you have, it will ultimately be snatched away from you. And therefore, it is certainly temporary in nature. And therefore, economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment, at any pal vipal, by the cataclysms of material nature. Even elevation into a higher planetary system, what to talk of this own material world, what to talk of this earth, even elevation to a higher planetary situation, as men are now seeking on the moon planet, can also be finished at one stroke. Not just about this earth, people are trying to go to Mars, try to go to moon. Even such higher planetary systems, even elevation to such higher planetary systems can be completely diminished by the fact of time, by the matter of time. Even elevation to a higher planetary situation, as men are now seeking on the moon planet, can also be finished at one stroke. The Bhagavad Gita confirms this. Chine punye martya lokam visanti. When the results of pious activities are finished, one falls down again from the peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. So whatever pious credit one has, when it is finished, one again comes back to the lowest form of life. One again comes back from the highest happiness to the lowest form of life. Not the highest happiness, from their peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. Many politicians of the world have fallen down in that way. We have seen many politicians falling down in that way. Such downfalls only constitute more cause for lamentation. Therefore, if we want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, as Arjuna is seeking to do. So Arjuna asked Krishna to solve his problem definitely, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness. So Arjuna asked Krishna to solve his problem once and for all, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness, to take complete shelter of Krishna. And once we do that, all the problems of life are removed. Not that old age, disease and death is going to finish. That is anyways going to happen. But you will get the real source of happiness, and ultimately you will even be able to recover from this situation, birth, old age, disease and death. You will be liberated from the cycle of birth and death and birth and death, and you will achieve the real happiness. What is real happiness? Association of Krishna is the real happiness, because that is the nature of our soul, to serve Krishna eternally, to serve Krishna and his associates eternally, Satchit Ananda. Therefore, now Arjuna has come to the situation of taking complete shelter of Krishna, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness. So that was text 8 of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. If you are not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe to it. Press the like button if you are liking my videos, and also press the notification bell to get all the notifications. Thank you very much.